All right, hello everybody. This is the Wrestling with the Willies podcast with me and Jeremy again. And yeah, it's been a minute because we got behind because trying to do filming this stuff. We just started a reaction channel too, so we're trying to like get all this stuff like up to date and stuff like that. And especially knowing that AEW has been doing monthly pay-per-views now, it's been a little bit tougher for us to get to be able to do all of the pay-per-views. Like especially knowing that like we had this one was just Queen and King of the Ring, and then it was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks afterwards is the next one that we're going to talk about, which was what was it? Damn it!
Double or Nothing was the AEW
Well,
one,
yeah, Double or Nothing, and
and
but
then
like and
Money in
then
the Bank.
yeah, but there was one before Money in the Bank
Cla-
though.
yeah,
Oh,
Clash at the Castle.
yeah, Clash at the Castle. That's what it was. So, like, we have to talk about, like, a bunch of them, like,
And
in a
Forbidden
row.
Door was in there too. So
Yeah,
there's
knowing that they just did Forbidden Door. And I'm like, God, wait, we ain't ever going to catch up. It
I
seems
know
like.
we thought we were, and then we
And
were
then,
like this. Well, you think about it. Right now it's July 8th, and we'll just say we're this is how behind we are. We're filming this on July 8th. King and Queen of the Ring was on May 25th. So
yeah,
between May 25th and July 8th, there's been four pay-per-views.
yeah.
No,
That's on like
five.
five, yeah.
Five. So, yeah, in a month, not even a month's time, there's been five separate ones.
Yeah. And
So,
that's, I'm like, fuck, trying to get them out. Especially if we're trying to do them at a reasonable time. I mean, like, shit's been happening consistently, like, life things getting in the way, really. Like, especially, I think I had a vacation, like, right before Double or Nothing, so that's one reason why it, like, put a kibosh on it. Like, had to do a week vacation where I wasn't like doing like, where I pretty much had my phone off kind of thing. But yeah. Anyway, without further ado, they did have a kickoff show where it was Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair going against, was it Damage Control?
it was Candice LeRae and Indy
Oh yeah,
Hartwell.
can yeah, pretty much the way without being the way type thing.
Hmm.
So, and we did, and typically we never really watch the kickoff shows. Anybody that's a listener of this podcast, we don't usually, and we usually watch this later. Very rarely do we watch it as soon as it airs because my schedule is always like after whenever like most times if I do close at my work, like it's always like after like at least 8. So
So,
it's already halfway in by the time that like I get off of work.
yeah, so one observation I want to make going straight into this. So that I remember when we watched this, the kickoff show was actually part of the entire replay. So we
Oh
watched
yeah.
this after it came on. So when we first saw the replay I think was 4.5 hours long. We were like,
Oh yeah.
holy shit,
We're
there's
like,
six
holy shit, we gotta
there's
fucking watch 5 hours of shit. And
so
then we
yeah.
noticed that it was a kickoff show, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm
But the
skipping.
kickoff show was an hour and a half of that. So
Yeah.
literally the actual main show was probably a little under 3 hours.
And it's
So it
funny
was
how people are bitching about the shows, how they're like about 3 hours long and they have about five matches. I'm like, thank God that they're doing it that way. Like, I wish that it was like 2.5 hours, 3 hours long for some of these pay-per-views just because, I mean, time-wise, like, I don't want to watch
well
5 or 6 hours of like
well
wrestling and then have to
yeah,
watch another 4 hours of wrestling a week later.
and I think that's the problem with that I'm seeing with AEW right now. We haven't watched Double or Nothing or Forbidden Door, but all of their pay-per-views run for 4 hours, and it's
At
literally four
least, yeah.
hours of wrestling. I don't know how you can in the schedule that they've got right now. I don't know how you build up storylines cohesively enough to run a 4 hour pay per view
Yeah, like,
every month like that
yeah.
because That's the difference with WWE. Like this one, we've talked about in the past that it's 3 hours of a show with only 5 matches in it, which they're all storyline driven, but at the same
Yeah,
time, the issue I have with WWE is the fact that they're 3 hours long. I wish they would be with 5 matches. These things could be 2 hours long.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
that's what I'm
you,
saying. I mean, it kind
but
of
it's
like,
mostly ads
yeah, and
that
it kind
you
of
sit
goes
there.
away from like the people that pay for the show, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of it was. Like when we all talk about Clash at the Castle, a lot of people felt gypped because they only did 5 matches. I'm like, well, it depends on how much you're paying. Like, really, I mean, I just found out that the Post Malone concert that's near my, like in Alabama right now, is like $500 for general admission. I'm like, I can't pay $1,000 to go see him in the pit. I can't even pay $400 for me to go see him in the nosebleed seats. Like that, like $100 is reasonable. I would much, especially when you're far back and shit. So like, imagine doing that in with wrestling right now, where they're probably significantly more, especially if it's like WrestleMania or something. Usually, like I remember when we were getting WrestleMania tickets, they were like $200 or $300, and that was just for WrestleMania for one night, and they were in the nosebleeds. But like doing $400 or $500 for it for 5 matches, I don't know if that's like good, but it depends on the matches and everything else that go into
Speaking
it.
of which, you need to start planning for next year, Josh.
For what? For WrestleMania or something?
Yeah, it's here in Vegas, man. I think we
Yeah.
all, everybody just needs to make a trip up here to see me, and then we head down there. It's only like an hour. I mean, it's an hour flight or something from here.
Oh,
I mean,
from
so
there? Really?
yeah, and it's like $60 or $70 for a ticket for a
Mm,
plane ticket.
yeah.
But I mean, but yeah, I'm definitely going. But I think any other wrestling fan in our group we
Yeah.
should make it a goal to go for
See,
that one.
the main one that I want to do is an AEW pay-per-view right now, just because I haven't went to an
Well,
AEW one. But
Wrestle Dreams
that's
here
the
in
only thing.
October, but
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's like I wouldn't mind going seeing it, especially the way that everybody's been talking about the AEW pay-per-views. That
and
it's
it
very
seems like
easy for you to get front row.
and
Like,
it seems well. You saw my tickets
yeah,
last
that's what
time.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Uh,
You were like very close, and you were
yeah,
on camera a few times. I know
yeah.
we're going off on a tangent. I'm like, we'll
No, but
start
yeah,
talking
I
about the
mean,
pay per view.
so I mean that Bianca Belair Jade Cargill match only went 8 minutes and 5 seconds on the pre-show when the pre-show was an hour and a half. So it was
And
mostly just hyping up the main card. But
mind you, I cannot believe that. Like the one thing that I do not like about the women's tag titles right now is that they just do not give it enough time for anybody. They don't give them enough matches and to like build up the prestige on the title. They doing nothing with the titles. And so when you're talking
well,
about Jade
it's funny.
Cargill and
Yeah,
Bianca Belair, they already lost the titles already. So they had them at Wrestle. They got them at WrestleMania, or was it the pay per view after that? I was pretty sure. No, it was at the pay per view after that
hmm
that they won them. And what's it called? Now they already lost them to not Chelsea Green, and I forgot who has them now. But like, oh yeah, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, which I was
hmm
just like, what? That's so weird. Why would they drop them so fast? And that they didn't build it up where they were building a feud into it as well. So it just seemed out of place, knowing that. So like the tag titles for the women just feel like they go nowhere, and they ain't putting anything into it because I
well,
would have thought that they would have had the titles for a while, and then
that's
they
one.
just had a couple months.
Well, that's one reason Sasha left. Remember, her and
Yeah,
Naomi both left because of the treatment of that title.
yeah,
Because they were, but that was one of the reasons. I mean, there's a multitude of reasons, but I mean, obviously, it wasn't bad enough for Naomi to return, but Sasha
yeah.
obviously
Well,
wasn't willing to
obviously
come
they
back.
paid her more money, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Sasha Banks or like Mercedes
Mercedes.
Moné, whatever, that she asked for more money than Naomi did. And then they were
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I don't think your name's high enough for that to be warranted. And that's why they said no. And then, of course, uh, Tony Khan was like, yeah, let's fucking get her. So, I mean, like, especially knowing that she's got creative control over her character and stuff. But yeah. So the first match was Becky versus what's it, Liv Morgan
Yeah.
and Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
where it was so fucking weird. I don't know why. Okay, so mind you, before this happened, Rhea got injured supposedly either from the WrestleMania match or like one of the matches, and then Liv Morgan took her out, and then some people were thinking that when she got like when they did that scene is that's when she got injured. I mean, like it could be either or, but it fit both the characters for what
Mm-hmm.
they were doing. Like Liv Morgan doing the
What?
revenge tour, but like I didn't think that it was necessary for Becky to get the championship off of her. Like especially knowing that the last like 3 or 4 battle royals that have happened, Liv Morgan lost. Like, and she was the last person in the ring before she lost. I think the last 2 Royal Rumbles and the Battle Royal where it was for the title, she all was like the last person in the ring before whoever won. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was like Rhea Ripley that was the first one. And then the second one was forgot who was the other person that won. I guess was it Becky? I think it might have been Becky for the Royal Rumble too. And then what's it called? And then or no, it was Io Sky. That's what it was. Or damn it, I can't remember. I'm like having issues remembering shit now. But regardless, whoever fucking beat her, and then Becky beat her here. So the match was decent, but like I don't know. It was funny how they just should have given Liv Morgan the win at the Battle Royal, and I think that they were doing a course correction because of how much hate WWE were getting because of how everyone wanted Liv Morgan to win it.
I agree. I think that was part of the reason this whole thing happened because Becky didn't keep it long enough to really want
Yeah,
her having it to begin with.
she only kept it for like a month, and then
Yeah.
now there's talks that she is done,
Mm.
and
Yeah. Well,
then they're
remember
like,
I
oh, she's probably gonna go to AEW. I'm like, no,
remember
she
I
could
talked
just
about.
retire.
I think I talked about this a few months ago that it seemed like, and this was just me talking based on what was going on, that I felt Becky was on her like farewell tour without saying it was a farewell tour
Yeah,
because she was wrestling all the matches that she wanted to wrestle. That's what it seemed like to me. Like bringing in Trish and all that stuff last year, I think that was all part of like the stuff she wanted to do before she left.
yeah.
And so that might have been the reason she won the title, is she wanted to win the title one
Oh,
more
like
time
one
before
last
she
time.
left.
Yeah,
And so, and that was the best time to do it because Rhea was hurt. So it's not like she had to take
yeah,
it off Rhea. That was like she took it off of a vacancy or something. But
yeah.
I mean, I can tell you this, and not talking and spoiling anything later on in other pay per views, but this Liv Morgan Dom thing is hilarious as shit because they're
Yeah,
playing it all over the place.
yeah,
Like Liv Morgan's playing it so well on social media too that it's hilarious. And then
yeah.
I just saw
I love
I
what they're
just saw
doing.
what they did on Raw tonight, and
Oh
you
yeah,
can
like
tell they're
yeah.
moving towards the. Remember, I said with them going to Netflix, they're going to become a lot more
Oh yeah,
risque on
yeah,
Raw, and they're already
yeah.
starting that shift. And they signed that deal that USA would cover them until they flipped over to Netflix. So that
Yeah.
delay between October and January or whatever it was,
Oh, okay.
it'll
So
stay on
stay on
USA
USA.
Network. Yeah, but you could see that shift. Now they're
Well, I
starting
mean,
to
the
do a
WWE's been
little bit
on,
more.
the USA's been, or like WWE's been on USA for like ever. So like I think
What
that
I'm
they're on
Yeah.
good
Oh,
terms with them enough to
you
that
know,
way they would be fine with that anyway.
what I meant was is that they're
Oh
doing
yeah, that they're
this
gonna start doing it.
sexual
Yeah,
type
yeah.
stuff, and there's like reads into stuff that they're doing on TV
Well,
that are
honestly, I think one thing that he's doing
there
now
was a
is he's
yeah,
just
sorry.
messing
There
with Liv Morgan to like he's messing with Liv Morgan so they could win shit. I think that's the main thing
yeah,
that is going
but
on.
I think it's setting up everything, right? So like Damian Priest is eventually going to leave Judgment Day. And
Oh yeah,
so Finn Balor's probably going to be the reason. But Dom is being used as this other piece in it with the Liv Morgan thing.
yeah,
So, but I think the one that's really in cahoots with Liv Morgan is Finn Balor,
yes.
and that's what they're ultimately going
I
to
think
go
he's trying
towards.
to show dissension in the ranks, and that's why he was
Hmm.
like, "You changed when you got the title and all this stuff," which I'm
Yeah,
intrigued with. Like everything that I've been seeing out of it, I thought I was wondering if they were going to turn Damian Priest into a transitional a champion, and seems like so far they haven't. Which I'm definitely happy that they've went that route. So. I'm intrigued with what they do, but yeah, like as far as this match, it was weird how like it fit though, like how Dawn protected Liv or got her into winning the championship, and now the stuff since it's been fun. So like,
yeah,
yeah,
and
I
again,
just love what they're
that's
doing with WWE right now. It's
well,
kind
that's
of
what
like,
what I'm saying, and I've said this in previous podcasts too, is with WWE. It's funny because you could see WWE, right? WWE has got less wrestling. We're showing that in the how long these wrestling matches are. So like this match was 16 minutes and 25 seconds. The previous one was 8 minutes and 5 seconds, right? So not a crazy amount of wrestling, but the storytelling over time, like literally there's a story. And when we talk about Clash at the Castle, there's going to be a story. The only time where it didn't fit Backlash was always the screwy one to me. It has been for a few years now where it seems like it used to be backlash from WrestleMania. Now it's just backlash from
yeah, just
events in
backlash
between.
to, yeah, like
And
where it used to, and like it seemed like it was more like a Vince thing doing the WrestleMania backlash thing, because
but
it
the
seems like because when they first started it, it was just straight up backlash, where it was just like blow offs for feuds. It seemed like, and now it's like a whole nother thing. But
but
like
now
I'm
but
intrigued
now
with what they're doing with
yeah,
like
but now
a
you've
lot of the
got
stories.
but the main like pay-per-views like you'll see like this one there's storylines involved where like we talked about the Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley stuff that's flowing into the Daddy Dom stuff, right? And that
Yeah,
continues. Well, then you've got the the Chad Gable Intercontinental stuff that flows into the next match we were going to talk about. That's continued over the last few months or even, and
yeah.
then the only ones that really don't, obviously, in this pay per view are the King and the Queen of the Ring because they're
Yeah,
basically
which I
the
think was it the next match? Was it the Nia versus Lyra Valkyria match,
No,
or
the
was it
next
the
match was
Gunther and?
Sami Zayn against Chad Gable and
Oh
Bronson
yeah,
Reed.
that's what it was. Yeah, the triple threat. Which I like the triple threat, but I'm like I don't think they had enough time to like I don't know build a
I
better
still,
story out
you,
of it.
it's funny
But
they brought Bronson Reed back, and I continue to not understand why.
yeah, because they
Because
haven't done anything with him.
it's
Like
like they just
they
throw him
gave
into
him the
places.
big Bronson Reed character, where now it's like a kaiju. Like literally, that's what they're kind of like explaining his character is. It's kind of like the WWE kaiju wrestler. It seems like, and then they haven't built any character for him. They haven't like had him like I haven't seen him do promos. They haven't. They've just been throwing him in the matches, and it just seems weird. Like this one, it just seemed like the only reason why they had him in it is to explain why Gable lost again.
Yeah, well,
like,
that's what I mean. It's like,
to,
and then, but just to talk about it, we watched stuff after this because again, it's been a month a little over a month since this event happened, but there's been events after this where Chad Gable's been pissed off at Maxine Dupree
Yeah,
um,
pretty much
and
he turned
Otis
full
and
tilt, and then Otis and pretty much all of Alpha Academy left him.
yeah,
Like, which everything you saw that the story was building to that.
yep,
So, like, especially with this, where like Otis was almost hitting him and stuff like that. A lot in the match. It all made sense, and you knew that the only reason why he wasn't going to win was because Bronson Reed was in the match. So, like,
hmm
when they did that, I was just like, okay, I'm wondering. So it was good for what it was, but like, it felt like a padding for like Sammy's reign,
yep,
essentially, to pad it
agreed.
out a little bit more. But
hmm
I hope that they push Sammy to be an eventual world heavyweight champion. But there's way too many people that deserve the right, in my eyes, like Jey Uso and a few others. Like, it just seems
Well,
like
there's one
they
right
are
now that
building their shit where they should be champion. But
there's one right now that's really truly pissing me off, but we'll talk about that in two pay-per-views from now because I feel he's getting kind of screwed because of something else that happened. But anyhow, and I'll just caveat it's Drew McIntyre, just so everybody knows. I
oh,
think that one's pissing me off how they're dealing with him. I I got spoiled with the result at Money in the Bank, and I'm not
oh yeah.
very happy about that.
Well, I mean, it doesn't, and like it makes sense for him and CM Punk, but like that's the only thing that makes sense. But I
Yeah,
think
but
that I don't know.
anyway,
Some people, and some we could talk about that
yeah,
in
we'll
another pay
talk
per view.
about it
Yeah,
during the Money
like
in the Bank
during
one
that one,
because
yeah,
I
more in
know
depth
what
about it.
once we watch it because I want to see how it played out, obviously. But
Oh
I
yeah,
just, anyways, it's
it's
something
mostly
that I
because it's just very weird to me because I only watch like I accidentally watch certain. It's like I always forget to not pull open Twitter or X or
mhm.
whatever before, like when a fucking pay per view's happening. So I'm always at work and I pull it up and I'm like, and then I scroll through and then they're like, "Hey, guess who won?" I'm like, "Fucking damn it!"
But it tells you
Well,
the
at least,
difference between WWE and AEW because literally I don't know what happened on either one of theirs.
oh, I've seen
So Twitter
certain bits
doesn't get.
from, yeah,
I'm
like
just
it
saying
doesn't
that
get the
not
same
compared to
coverage. Yeah,
WWE, it's you hit
yeah.
Twitter and WWE's all over the place. But if you hit
Oh yeah,
Twitter,
like there'll
AEW
be
is
like
really hit or miss.
yeah, because usually it'll be like one or two shock things, and then which we'll talk about during at least the Double or Nothing one.
But
But
again, so I'm gonna
like
go.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like the
but
shock returns are the main thing. But yeah,
yeah, but so again with the timing of this match, the Sami Zayn he defeated Chad Gable and Bronson Reed by pinfall in the triple threat match, but that match went 13 minutes and 40 seconds. So you see a trend, right?
yeah,
The next match, it's just crazy to me because like the next match was what you were thinking, Nia Jax with Lyra Valkyria,
Valkyria, yeah,
and and I felt, remember, I don't remember who I was thinking would make it to the end, but it made more sense
Io
that,
Sky.
yeah, Io Sky and Bianca would make it. But,
Yeah, like or Jade Cargill and like okay, so like mind you, when this was happening, like at one point, Tiffany
well, that,
Stratton posted a thing where she was calling Jade a bitch, and then
mm-hmm,
people took it out of context and thought that she was being racist to her just because she's white and she's calling out a black wrestler. You
mm-hmm,
you do realize that there's kayfabe to a certain extent for certain things. You you knew that the match was going to happen at one point. I'm sure that that was probably what was slated to happen was Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill at one point because I think they were all in the same block. I think it was all of SmackDown's on one side and then all of Raw's on the other, right?
mm-hmm.
So like it was probably slated to happen, and then Tiffany was probably going to beat her or like either or, and then they switched it after this happened, so they cooled off on like Tiffany Stratton to like make it because
Well,
I
the
think
funny thing
if
is, they
anything, I
cooled
think
off on
Tiffany
her. They cooled off on her for this premium
this
live
paper,
event.
yeah, this one, and
So,
then they wanted this stuff to cool down because if you haven't noticed since that happened, not even a month later, nobody even remembers it.
yeah.
That's the funny thing with social media. People like talk about this shit like in the moment and talk about how offended they are and all this stuff, and then they forget about shit until
But
they're mad at whoever. So
but it
like
was like, okay,
so
so
yeah, I think Tiffany Stratton was supposed to be in the match. Then they changed and they course corrected because I think Jade Cargill and Nia Jax were in the match, right? I think. And
yeah,
then
they had a
Jade
match and it was
Cargill
a
got
DQ.
disqualified.
Yeah.
So how did Nia Jax win if it was disqualified? Oh yeah, because I think Jade Cargill hit her with a chair. I forgot, but like still, it's just like what a rip off of the thing. So like I think that's what it was. I think it was supposed to be Tiffany Stratton, and then versus Jade Cargill, and probably Jade Cargill could have won. I thought she was the standout one to win it, but like they
Except
didn't do
she's
that, so I was
extremely
shocked.
green still.
Yeah, but still, the way that their characters portrayed, like I'm just like it seems like they're building her up to be kind of
I
like the
think,
AEW version.
yeah, but I think that's the reason they pulled the titles off of them. I don't think they feel that
Oh,
she's ready to be at that top level yet. I think they felt they
mm,
were, but they're seeing
oh,
proof
like
that
they,
she isn't. That's what I think, anyways.
yeah, I don't
But
know. It could
but
be
at the
that, yeah,
but at the same time, what I was getting at with this match for the Queen of the Ring, going in, it's Nia Jackson, Lyra. It's like, oh, Nia's winning this. It was
yeah,
like, look, there. How
uh,
could you really have Lyra beat Nia Jax? They're like,
yeah. When
Lyra's
she's like
like
not
this little
even,
tiny
yeah,
person, and but it only went 9 minutes and 40 seconds. So the secondary part of the name of the billing on the card. This card is literally called King and Queen of the Ring. The
yeah,
Queen of the Ring got 9 minutes.
yeah, and
But
it,
again, it's because
yeah.
Nia Jax is in it. I mean, it was
Yeah, because she
I
can't
can't.
do like a long ass match.
Yeah, I
She's
mean,
never done a long ass match, and it's mostly because she sucks. I
yeah,
can't say I can't say she doesn't have talent to be able to do the matches, right? Like because I
yeah,
know
but
I
she's
would
never
probably have a
not
difficult
careful.
time trying to do the same shit. I would
Hmm.
understand that, but she don't give a shit about anybody that she wrestles unless she's friends with them. And even
Hmm.
then, I don't. I think it's all about her and not about who she's going against. So literally in this match, she almost breaks the back of Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah,
Thankfully, Lyra moved at the right time. That way she didn't just break her fucking back because she went down with all of her body weight straight
yeah,
up on her chest. And if
yeah.
she didn't move, she could have broke her back instantly if she didn't move in the right place. And that's one thing that I just do not like about Nia Jax is
Hmm.
she don't give a shit about not hurting people. And then she takes it like, oh, people are just hating. No, people aren't just hating. They don't want somebody to lose their fucking career because you're being green or you're not being safe. You're
Hmm.
literally tossing people into the damn, uh, like Kyrie's saying, you just like flung her into the damn turnbuckle. I know that there's a certain amount of restraint or like even like strength that way you gotta mean it when you do it, but like every time I've seen her do stuff, she's done it for herself and not for other people. Like she doesn't do it like how they say where you're going into business about yourself. She's always been like that. So she's lucky she even got this match. And then some people were bitching because she kneeled down for Triple H, but then Walter or Gunther didn't later on. And
Hmm.
they're like, oh well, that's just showing like feminism. No, she's taller than Triple H, so that's probably why she knelt down. Like, Does it really
or she
matter?
just
Maybe
did
she
it,
just made
or
the judgment call to
or
do it.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
I'm not worried about. It's like,
well,
you
that's what I'm
know,
saying. It's like people take shit out of context or they take things way too literal.
yeah,
Like,
I'm more
they,
concerned with
this
her
Tiffany,
wrestling
well,
and
that's what I'm
her.
saying. It's like this Tiffany Stratton thing, everybody was like totally fine with her character and this and that. Then she posts something where she was clearly, possibly going to go against somebody else in the thing. And then you're like, it's racist. No, it's part of the fucking thing. Like, part of doing this is, especially now, if anybody hasn't noticed Becky Lynch versus Ronda or Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, how they've built their feuds around social media to build up buzz around their matches and shit. That's just how wrestling is now. Like a certain degree of it is, at least, because kayfabe and everything else, you got to try to at least fake it to a certain degree because people know that it's like the way that it is, so you can't fake it completely unless you're Abaddon or something. But come on, man. I think you guys need to fucking relax. I get tired of that's the one thing I get tired of on social media. I keep seeing shit where it's just people taking things out of context, calling people names about shit when you don't even know them personally. But and like, what would happen if you ran out and then tried to get their autograph and something, and then he's like, "Oh, I remember this tweet that you said." I'm like, "Why didn't you say it to my face?" Whatever. They wouldn't say that shit publicly. So
Mhm.
like, that's the one thing that irritates me about current day wrestling shit is
Well, that's
like
social
that.
media, though. I mean, shit,
Yeah,
I stream most of the week, and Aaron can attest to the same kind of stuff. Is that you get some of these jackasses that come into your stream, and they're just doing stuff to try to get your goat. And that's why I said I don't
yeah,
listen to them. I had one over the weekend that he had multiple accounts, dude. I mean, this was the same guy. He came into my chat 8, 9 different times with a different name, and he kept
yeah,
doing the same shit. All I did was ban him every time he'd come in. It's kind of the one Aaron has.
yeah.
He'll tell you about it. That you
Oh
get
yeah,
these guys that are people that just I think they need to feel important or something. So they'll just do
yeah,
stupid stuff, and because they're behind a keyboard, they can do whatever they want. But if they stand right up in your face, you
yeah.
won't
They
hear that
wouldn't say
same stuff
anything.
from them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
regardless, that match went only 9 minutes and 40 seconds. You knew it wasn't going to go long. Nia Jax was in it. Nia
Yeah.
Jax really, I mean, none of her matches go long. So you knew she
Yep.
was going to win. This next match, I was surprised again at who made it because I thought, based on who was going in, it made perfect sense for it to be Jey Uso against Tama Tonga.
Yeah. Like,
It
I
made
thought it was.
perfect
I
sense
thought that
for
they
it
were
to end that
building
way.
that. I thought
And
that they
Jay,
were building it that way, and then like,
and
because
then it
no
went the exact
disrespect to
opposite.
Gunther though, no
Yeah.
disrespect to Gunther because I love Gunther, but especially, well, might I add, I like the new stipulation if they make this an every year thing. How whoever's
Oh, the title
the
holder
queen
thing?
and
Yeah.
the king of the ring both get title shots at SummerSlam. I'm totally for that. It would explain title matches for SummerSlam where you wouldn't have to do a huge thing for it. And it could build up like people that you see are going to be like big names eventually or whatever. So, like, especially gives it a shot for like to see your metal in the matches against top names like because I think certain people are going to be like that eventually anyway. I think that I think they try their hand on stuff to see how they react to stuff, like the react to the crowd, react to the matches, and this and that
Well, I
before
do
they
like,
put the title on somebody.
yeah, I do like the stipulation. So you'll know going into this one. It actually makes it important. Like to
Yeah,
me,
like
all it was doing before
before.
was okay. It was just a crown that you wore, and you basically got renamed. Like when
Yeah,
Xavier Woods got it, or when Zelina Vega got it. She was just Queen Zelina. and he
Yeah.
was King Xavier.
Yeah, and then it
Now
was just turned
it
into a
means
gimmick. Yeah. Now it
it's another
means,
version of Money
yeah.
in the Bank, and the crown
Yeah.
represents basically a title match at SummerSlam. So it's like it actually means something. So actually, you could develop storylines around it now. Like
Yep.
you got to work towards it, and that's another reason, like why I thought it would flow into Jey Uso and Tama Tonga with the whole bloodline thing, and then it would turn into the whole Jey Uso getting his title shot again.
Especially knowing that Tama Tonga was just brought in. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how the hell did they explain? Because I didn't see the match like for how Randy Orton beat him. I don't know if it's through cheating or whatever, but like I was
He
like,
got a
why
clean
the
pin.
hell? Well, that's what I'm saying. You just brought him in, and you're
Mm-hmm.
building the Bloodline 2.0 shit, and then you make him lose. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, what the hell? So it's just like, to me, I thought it was weird. And like, it told the story of the match, too, because if it would have been Jay or Tama Tonga in the match, you didn't know where it was going to lead. Because
Mm-hmm.
it could have been either or, dude. Then, when you saw Gunther versus Randy Orton, you knew Gunther was going to win.
Yeah.
Because,
Mm-hmm.
like, you think Randy Orton needs a another damn thing on his
And I don't think he
title
cares now. I
shit?
think this
That's what I'm
literally,
saying.
this is and watching these different things. This is the most fun I think Randy Orton has had in years.
Yeah, because, I mean,
Like he
now he
literally,
doesn't have to
he
stress about shit.
Well,
He
he
just
came
has
out
fun.
during one match. They listed him at 275 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he comes out and he goes, nope, more like 290. I've been eating or some shit. And they
Yeah,
catch
he was
all this
like,
shit
big
on
boy
camera.
want,
He's like,
yeah, yeah, he was like, a
so,
big
so,
boy want to eat, or
yeah,
like loves to eat, or something like that. He said
so,
it straight
so,
into the
yeah,
camera, and I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
that was
So,
so funny, so
so
funny.
I'm like, but like you didn't see this shit back in the day with Randy Orton. He was so damn serious, and you never
Yeah,
really
like
cared
his
for the guy.
character was so damn like it was supposed to be menacing and
Yeah,
cruel
it's
and stuff like that.
uh,
So it's nice knowing that he's doing this character where it's like it's kind of the same thing, but not at the same time. It's probably his best face work that he's done in a long
oh,
time.
by
Like
far. I
hands
told you
down,
before
with
that
the
he's
stuff
a
with
way
Riddle
better.
and everything,
Yeah,
and even the stuff with Kevin Owens right now, where they're calling it RKO or whatever.
yeah,
Like literally, that's like the team name,
yeah,
even though it's like the team name without the team name, and like they even
yeah,
have shirts where it says RKO on it. I'm like,
yeah.
what the fuck, dude? I'm
Yeah.
like, do you? So this match was good. I mean, I really like
And it was the
Gunther. So
second longest match on the card, but that was
yeah,
kind of what I was getting at. The top three longest matches on the card should have been the King and Queen of the Ring,
yeah.
because it's like literally what the name of the freaking premium live event is.
Yeah, and that's why I was
But
surprised that they didn't flip the order for the King of the Ring, and they flipped it where they did Damian Priest versus well, who was he going against? I forgot who he went against now. Thinking about
on
it.
this pay-per-view,
Yeah.
he wasn't on this one.
Oh, who was the? Oh
It
yeah, it
was
was the Cody
Cody
Rhodes
against
match.
Logan Paul.
That's
Yeah,
what it was. No wonder they should have flipped that because
yeah,
fuck Logan Paul. His name isn't deep enough for you to fucking have him in the main event every time he's fucking there. Give me a
yeah.
break. So, like, that's why I say they should have flipped these. They should have had
Mm-hmm.
King of the Ring to be the main event. And,
Mm-hmm.
like, I get it with Cody and then whatever they think about Logan Paul, but, like, I don't think Logan Paul's that much of a draw compared to, like, all the other names that they got. And then
No, I
they're like,
think
hey,
I
he
almost
brings in YouTubers to, or like
I
kid YouTubers to watch their
I
shit.
I almost feel that he's paying for the time on
Oh
screen
yeah,
almost.
he probably is. I wouldn't be
That's,
surprised with how
it's like
much that
as
motherfucker likes to be on TV and show his
well,
face. I
but
wouldn't
not
be
only
surprised.
that, how much Prime is on the
Yeah, his
TV?
prime
He's
bottles and
got to
shit.
be
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
got to be
And
paying
literally,
for all
how
that.
many, especially how many homies he brings. Like he had I Show Speed show up, and then he had KSI and all these other fucking YouTubers. And are you kidding me? Like is this gonna be your shtick every time you're at like a fucking pay per view? You're gonna bring out another YouTuber. You're eventually gonna run out of YouTubers, man. or like at least kick streamers or whatever. I think it's
But I
like
could tell you
it's
what,
just yeah,
we talked about this, and I'm gonna put a short out on YouTube. I meant to on YouTube and TikTok and all that good stuff of the camera work during that Cody Rhodes match. That Logan Paul when he went for the frog splash on the table, and they
yeah,
did the 360 of him on the turnbuckle.
yeah. I thought that was
That
cool.
was an awesome because they did it in one shot, and I'm seeing it all along, like their camera work ever since Vince left, and they got the
And
new guy
Kevin
from
Dunn is gone.
ESPN in.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
doing some awesome stuff with one shots where they're following wrestlers for a long way.
yeah.
Um, there's awesome stuff going on with their
Yeah,
filming
and even
right
AEW
now.
is trying to rip it off too, and trying to
Hmm.
do the same shit. Which I mean, like, a competition is gonna drive like other shit. If other people like this
Well,
stuff,
that's why
like
competition's
the
always good, but
yeah,
I
it's
just don't
always good.
think
But like also at the
AEW
same
has to
time,
start thinking
first
we're
off, they
still
got
way
to
the
get
fuck
higher
behind.
up. They
Yeah.
should have kept at 4 damn pay-per-views a year and kept doing it small, like
Hmm.
built it up. I think that's their problem is that they're rushing to get stuff.
Hmm.
They're trying to build up more stuff. Like it's already been their 5th year, I think, doing AEW. It's the 4th or 5th year, I think. I'm pretty sure it's the 5th year that they just started doing stuff since Double or Nothing. But like there still hasn't been a crazy amount of growth for you to fucking do pay-per-views every month. Like I understood like the
And I know,
the specialty pay-per-views like All In and stuff. I understand that, but like, did we need to have Wrestle Dream and do I need to have one every month and do the wrestling one, the WWE ones at the same time? No, I
yeah,
don't.
but I'll tell you one thing. And it seems like we're scanning over the last two matches, but there wasn't anything special in them.
Yeah,
I
like it
didn't
was just funny
like.
how Gunther, when he won, he was standing and then he just raised up the crown. He didn't put it on his head. I mean, it
Hmm.
didn't look like it would really fit his head, but he
Hmm.
just sat there and he was like, yeah, and then did that, and
But
then
I had
pyro went up.
specified all the other times for all the other matches. The Gunther match went 21 minutes and 50 seconds. The Cody Rhodes Logan Paul match went for 24 minutes and 20 seconds.
And that could have been like 15 minutes
Yeah, there was no
because,
reason.
like,
Yeah.
there, to me, Logan Paul isn't as great as they say that he is. I mean, some of it's hating just because I don't really care for
Well,
the guy, but
he's
like
got decent
generally,
athletic talent. I'm going to
yeah,
say
he's
he's
got
a very
talent.
athletic dude.
Yeah,
But
he's got talent.
to get main event anytime he's on a card, it just or win he's already
Yeah,
got the title. And I had talked about, I think originally this was going to be
yeah,
champion
title for
versus champion,
yeah, yeah.
and they changed it.
And then
So
they're
I'm
like,
like,
"Oh, why should I do this?" I'm like, "Fucking,
yeah,
why should you even have the belt? You fucking dumb
yeah,
piece of shit! Like,
yeah.
you don't do anything. You're
Kevin Owens
lucky
should
that
have
you
had it a
have
long
in your
time ago,
career. You're
but
lucky to still have a damn career. Like that's where I think of it, and
well, both of them. I mean,
I
him or
don't
his
think
brother. It's like,
WWE is well. That's what I'm saying. I don't think WWE is
I mean, I was
gaining
kind of
more
happy that
shit to have him there.
I was kind of happy that the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight got delayed because of the
Oh,
ulcer issues
he
that
fucked
Tyson
that
had.
shit up. He fucked shit up. Like, and there is no fucking way that. Like, did you hear what he said about his daughter? The daughter that died, he literally said a fucking line against his damn daughter. And I'm
Hmm.
like, and you saw that tone on his face, or the look on his face change. As soon as he said that shit, it looked like he was gonna murder Jake Paul. Like,
Well, they just delayed the fight, so it's
well,
still going
yeah,
to
now it's in
happen till
November,
November.
and
So
now
I'll be
Nate
home
Diaz
for
is
that
fighting
one.
him.
Yeah,
Like, I just saw something where Nate Diaz was gonna fight him, and I was like, who cares? Like, why
yeah.
should you even watch this damn fight
Well,
anyway?
yeah. I
Like,
mean, it's always funny to me.
I
This
will
dude is
hear
just an
fucking
ex.
reviews afterwards, man.
It's just an exhibition fight. I mean, I'll openly challenge this motherfucker. I
Well,
mean, if
that's what I'm
it's
saying.
like
I
if you're
would be
just
able to
gonna
take
fight
him.
these freaking
And I'm
exhibition
fat as
fights, it's
shit.
like,
I'm fat as shit, and I know that I would outbox him. And I don't even box. I
But it's
mean,
like,
that's me being cocky though, but still, I just don't like Jake Paul or Logan Paul.
but
I
who the
don't
hell
think that
would?
they're good people.
I'm just amazed to me how many people are paying to watch this dude fight because it's not like, see, like,
Well, that's what
I'm
I'm
glad
saying.
it's on Netflix because
I
I
was
don't have
seeing
to
shit
fucking
where
pay
it was
for it.
like
But
60 grand for a ticket. That's
well,
what
it's
I
like
was
I think
seeing,
people are
and I was
just
like,
watching.
what?
People are just paying to watch him get his ass whooped.
Yeah,
I
that's what
mean,
it is. Because
and
people
so
are dumb enough to pay
and
the
he's got
money to
under the
go see
table
him.
shit to say, "Don't beat the shit out of me. I'll pay you X, Y, Z." That's why I was saying years ago. I said it years ago. You probably remember when I said I would fight Mike Tyson in his prime. You give me
Yeah,
$8 million, I'll take a fucking punch. I mean,
yeah.
it's like, I mean, and I think that's what this underhanded shit with Jake Paul
Well,
is. It's like,
that's
hey,
why I
let's go
say,
fight. I'll give you $20 million, and we'll just fight for 8 rounds and fight back
yeah,
and forth. If
yeah.
this was a real
That's like,
fight, the
yeah,
dude would be getting knocked out in the first round
yeah,
by everybody.
yeah,
Even Anderson Silva, the dude could, even at 45 years old or whatever it
yeah,
was when they fought, if these were true fights, he'd lose every single one of
yeah.
them. And that's
Because I
what my
mean,
issue is.
Anderson
And
Silva
I tell
fought.
you right
Yeah,
now, if Mike Tyson loses, that will
yeah,
guarantee you these are bullshit fights because
yeah.
that was an
Or a
exhibition
draw,
between
either
him and
one.
Roy Jones, and Roy
Yeah,
Jones will tell you that Mike Tyson hits like a fucking brick house, and this was 5 years ago.
yeah, yeah.
And that's coming from a boxer that's also older. There's no fucking way, dude, that
Yeah, and I didn't even realize Roy Jones lived in Pensacola too. I was like,
yeah, I
what?
played basketball with him, dude. Remember I told you I played in
Well,
the league with
well,
him?
well. That's what I was saying. I was just surprised the whole time. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
He's not very big though. He's way
Yeah,
shorter
well,
than I am.
he didn't look like he was tall
Yeah, he's a
anyway,
lot
but
shorter
still.
than
I
me. I
mean,
was
like,
actually
boxers don't
surprised.
really need to be fucking tall to
Yeah, but I
fight.
was surprised at how short he was.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's way
But I
shorter than
mean,
I
we've
thought he was
talked
going to be.
about like ad nauseum, meaning like
Anyway,
some wrestlers or whatever have the size difference. But yeah,
but we're
like
getting a
so
little deviated off there, but
essentially Cody
only because
Rhodes
we're.
versus Logan Paul, it was an okay match. He has talent, but it's like I could only watch him so much. Like his
Mhm.
matches are boring because he does the same shit. He does a springboard move again off the ropes. He fucking uses the brass knuckles, or at least tries to. He does the 450 or the frog splash off of the top rope. The only difference was is that they did the 360 thing before he jumped off the top rope. Literally everything that he did, he does all, in every match. So,
Mhm.
like, how am I supposed to give a shit about his
But that's
matches?
kind of the.
And
But
then
that
also
also
at the
is
same
kind of the.
time, it's the same WWE shit where
I was
like
just gonna say
everybody's
that.
like that.
That's yeah,
Everyone's like that. The only
yeah.
ones that get more freedom, it seems like, to do like regular matches for the hardcore crowd are like on the NXT because like I just saw stuff for the Ethan Page like Fatal Four Way match for like I saw bits and pieces and it looked like a legit like indie show type match like something that you'd see on AEW.
But
So
that is
like,
the difference between WWE and AEW. Look
well,
at all
that's what
these
I'm saying. And then
WWE guys that have left to AEW and aren't getting pushed.
yeah, and then now they're
They're
being
these
pushed again.
AEW guys that are coming into WWE and almost immediately are getting pushed.
Yeah, I know. Like Ethan Page left, and now okay. Spoiler alert.
He's already got the
This is
freaking
already
title.
after he just won.
Yeah, he's
He did
literally.
one pay per view where he lost to Trick, and then the next month they do a Fatal Four Way, and he won the belt again. And mind you, Shawn Spears went from AEW, went back to uh, NXT, and now he goes by Shawn Spears, which is cool. I mean, it's cool knowing that, especially he could do the chairman thing, which I think he kind of does still, but then he even does the 10 thing too. So I'm like, even he kept his finisher, the SSC4, the little, I forgot the finisher. It's kind of like the Death Valley Driver, kind of, I think. But what's it called? So like I'm intrigued with what they do, and I like how they have the freedom between both. Like, and I like how these are shorter pay-per-views where it doesn't take me 8 hours to go through every single match. Like,
Hmm.
so like I get bored with certain matches, like if I'm uninterested by them. but I mean, like, of course I do. Like, and that's why I think differently than some other people do, because I get bored of matches real easily if it's the same shit that I've seen from them before. Like, just insert name here. That's one reason why I've always not cared for Roman.
Hmm. But
But I mean, I could
I'm going to tell
say
you,
that about
we're going to
everyone.
talk about the next few pay-per-views. I am intrigued with what Roman's going to do when he
Oh
comes
yeah,
back.
especially with the bloodline shit. I'm so
Yeah,
intrigued with that.
because
Yeah,
with that
that's why I
stuff,
say they're
whoops,
telling really, really, really good stories for like everything, like the
this has
Liv
been
and
the
Dom
best
stuff,
storyline.
the Damian Priest stuff, like where it's with Finn and stuff like that, and then the bloodline shit is still like it's crazy how that's still like the number one best storyline. Even Sami Zayn's kind of doing that shit with his stuff with Braun Breaker. So I'm intrigued with like everything that they're doing right now. And that's why I say like some of the matches I get bored of, but I mean like I've been watching wrestling for since I was fucking born practically for like at least over
Oh
30
yeah,
years at
yep.
least. So like I'm not going to enjoy everything that I see. So with all that being said, if you guys made it to this part of the video, thank you for watching the podcast. And the next one that we'll probably be doing is at least Clash of the Castle, and then Double or Nothing. I think will be after that. Either that, or it'll be like in other like whatever it's at least the next two are going to be those, and then we'll be talking about Money in the Bank, and then Forbidden Door after that. So and then we started doing our music reaction thing called Headbangers Haven, where we're just doing a bunch of different music video reactions, mostly stuff that I've listened to in most cases, but Jeremy hasn't. So, like, I'm intrigued with what I do with him. There's been some reactions, like a band called Bandmade, is like it gave us like over 5,000 views on the YouTube channel, which I was so surprised about, and especially everybody was like super positive with the comments, which is
That and
totally
we've
different.
gained a crazy amount of subscribers just off of
Yeah,
those videos alone. So
yeah.
keep
So
them
like,
coming, man.
yeah, and then Jeremy does Twitch and stuff like that. And same with Aaron. They both do Twitch pretty much daily, where they're either doing Call of Duty or they're doing Elden Ring. I would be
Or
helping
other
on the
games, yeah.
Elden Ring, but they won't let us do crossplay. Oh yeah, and Jeremy's been doing like Path of Exile, and then I think he's been doing a video game series where it's like the top, what was it, 100 best video games of all time or something like that.
Best PC games.
Oh, best PC games. So
I'm
like
currently working
he,
on Hollow Knight, but
yeah, so he did Diablo 4 at first. I think that was the first one, and then he's doing Hollow Knight, and then going down to that.
but
So
yeah, tomorrow I'll also be well, on Tuesdays I'm currently streaming Hellblade 2, but I'll be finishing that up this week. I'm on the final chapter of that game, so
yeah, so like and
but anyway.
then pretty much Morbid Instinct, we started doing more videos for those. So we did one on Carnegie Deli Massacre, and then or I think it was that was what it was called, and then the Central Park shooting or slaying
Slaying.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
that was the
That's
latest
the
one.
most current one that came out. And we're still supposed to be doing stuff with Scream Creeps and everything. I just haven't gotten around to watching the movies yet because we're supposed to do It Follows and then A Quiet Place Part 2.
So
So we
needless to
got like,
say, we're gonna have a ton of content
yeah,
just
there's like
blasting on the
a
channel.
ton of stuff like we're doing. That's why it's kind of hard for us to get everything out, trying to do it at a good time,
Well,
especially
especially
while
I'm
having
getting
full
ready to,
time jobs and stuff.
yeah, and I'm getting ready to head out on holiday for a couple of weeks, so there'll be stuff releasing while I'm out of the country, but
Yeah,
um
like there'll be podcasts and more reactions and whatever else, but yeah, like in the pipeline, ready for that. So, for all that being said, we will talk to you guys in the next. Oh yeah, go to the website too before I end it. Go to
yeah,
the website heartofgeek.com where and then like, subscribe, and hit the thumbs up and shit, like the typical
yeah, hit
YouTube
that.
shit.
Yep, Yeah, hit
Like
that bell so you get
do
notified.
the thumbs. Yeah, do the Orange Cassidy thumb, where it's just
Yeah,
a little bit of the thumb.
yeah,
But
the nub. Anyway, but
yeah,
yeah,
just don't call it the nub. That's gonna get
I
us
know.
demonetized. No, the
Okay.
nub. Gotta call it the nub. No, I'm just kidding. So, for everybody at the Heart of Geek, we will talk to you guys in the next video or podcast, either one. Peace.